welcome to the third episode of NSKN Game Small Talk. And today I'm here with Agnieszka.
Hello.
I'm Kuba, and Agnieszka is our head of art design, so she will tell us more about arts and beautiful things. And we're gonna start with news. Okay, here are the news. So let's start with the fact that Paladin Card Protection Season 2 campaign is over, and we are shocked.
Guys, you're just simply amazing, guys and gals. We are basically ecstatic. We could not imagine this going that good.
Yes, you made the Christmas absolutely fantastic for us, and we're so thankful. And you know, we're just grateful for your trust, and we hope that we're gonna deliver the best product you could expect. And it should be delivered somewhere in June to you. So now we're just gonna celebrate the Christmas and the New Year's, and then we just gonna get to work and get your sleeves done, right?
Yep. Yeah, but great thank you. Thank you from all the NSKN games for making it happen, and it's season 2, yay!
Okay, the next thing is that the next thing is about Scarlet, right?
Oh yeah, so it's basically before Christmas, so all good news. Scarlet is the new game which gonna come next year from Strawberry Studio, and so far we have, besides English, we will have different language versions, and it's gonna be French, Polish, Romanian and German. So brace yourself for multilingual options for this game.
Yeah, and maybe even some more exotic languages, but we cannot confirm it yet.
Nope.
But we're really curious about how it's gonna work out, because the printing will start beginning of January, I think.
Yep.
So if we manage to fit that one or more languages in, there are gonna be more cool language versions of Carrot. Now, the next thing is that, well, the big news, Esdebium, the great UK games distributor, is now officially Asmodee UK. So I guess congratulations, and well, we wish you all the best in this new path. Asmodee is almost everywhere now, and it's fantastic that they've chosen Esdebium to work with them, right?
Right. Hopefully we'll see more games basically spread through the UK market now.
Yep. So all the best to UK market and our UK fans, because I think it's gonna turn out for better for you. Now, there is also Chronicles of Frost, so we're still working on that. Actually, lately we had this discussion in the office.
So Chronicle of Frost, we had a very successful Kickstarter again, thanks to you, thank you so much. And now is the post Kickstarter, basically making everything as a final of the final. And discussion is, I think, a soft way of saying it. We were trying to agree upon colors of the player markers, so the meeples, which will be in the base game. Of course, you can get the miniatures pack and so on, but the base game will come with the meeples. And I
always play with green, so I really wanted the green one there, but they wouldn't allow me.
Basically, it doesn't fit in the adventure game, right? To have a yellow,
green
a
fits
pink.
everywhere.
No, it doesn't. Plus, you have to remember that if you have green, we most probably shouldn't have red. And then Błażej will be super unhappy because he always plays with red. And then Justyna will want to have blue. And then it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, but Andrzej wanted to have purple, and he's gonna get purple, probably.
So we are in, I would say, 99% agreed upon the colors. They're gonna be chosen based on how easy it's gonna be for the color-blinded people. Plus, of course, the colors which will fit the most to help you to immerse yourself in the universe of adventure and Mistfall, so it doesn't disturb you that you have a yellow pond. So, okay, officially there are gonna be no yellow.
Yeah. So another thing is that Dice Tower Crew are gonna have another crowdfunding campaign for season 14. Can you imagine 14 seasons? I mean, massive. And we will take a small part in that. You will be able to get something cool from NSKN for one of our most recognizable games, and that's it. I'm not gonna tell a word
Yeah,
more
just
about that.
check it out.
Yeah, so keeping our fingers crossed for the Dice Tower team, and yeah, just look for it. And last but not least, little monster that came for tea and stayed for lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Agnieszka's been doing a lot of hard work on making sure that the art fits everything, and
yeah, it looks amazing. So I think I can get you the secret. So don't tell anyone. Little Monster will be, it is already illustrated by Anna Kędzior, so it's not Magda, but believe me, it's outstanding. So I know that Kuba is already teasing you with the pieces of art here and there on the Strawberry Studio page and
Instagram.
Yeah, so have a look.
And you'll be able to play it in Essen?
Yes.
So fall or autumn, whatever you prefer, 2018, so it's gonna be something like Essen, BGG Con, PAX Unplugged, depending on where you are, and it's gonna be fun. So,
Plus, yeah, we will probably have some printable versions so people can already get accustomed to the idea of how the game will play earlier on some events.
ooh, yeah, we're gonna do that. So, that's about it when it comes to news, and now we're gonna move to Talk of the Week. So, Talk of the Week in this episode will be the art, as we have Agnieszka here, who is our absolute mastermind when it comes to art. We're gonna talk a bit about art design, and so, do you have a game that you think is like the most beautiful in the world?
I have games. I cannot decide on one.
Yeah.
There are some which came basically this year, which just blow my mind. And of course, I would have to say photosynthesis.
Oh yeah.
It's just magnificent. And starting from the box, which basically when you put it on the shelf looks outstanding, no matter how you place it. Then the components, everything, basically when you play it, it's remarkable. So big plus for photosynthesis.
Yeah, I love photosynthesis as well, and I love the way it builds up on the board. Like you start with this just flat surface with a a little tree there, a small tree there, and then at the end of the game you have this huge dense forest, and it's remarkable.
Yeah, I have to say that this year actually many games kind of put
The bar
the
higher.
bar higher, yes. Even if you think about Azul, which is very simplistic in the way it looks, but the moment you start playing it, it's just gorgeous.
Azul speaks to me totally because I really like this minimalistic style of games, and Azul is really good.
Yeah, but the most difficult part in all those games is to make sure that it's still clear and playable and easy. And I think this was all reached, at least in those two games, perfectly.
Yeah. Anything else, like the games that you believe are really cool looking?
Of course, there are plenty. One of them would be the Champions of Midgard.
All right.
This is just, but you see.
But is it because of the illustrations, or is it because of something else? I don't know, components, or?
It's basically combined. Starting from the box, when you open it, actually everything fits. And I really like this kind of designs when the box is not something totally different than what you will get inside.
Mm-hmm.
So. Champions of Midgard is one of this game that basically you put it, you take it out of the shelf, you start playing it, and basically this box, it's just really immersing you before you start playing, because then later on the art, the cards, the components, the icons, everything just fits, it just works. It's really beautiful.
For me, one of those most beautiful games ever is a whole line of Ishtari originals. They have a very specific way of illustrating games, but they have this game called Metropolis, which has the most amazing board I've ever seen in games. I know that most people say that it looks like somebody puked all over it, but to me it looks absolutely amazing, and the choice of colors and shapes, and it just fits They have Bombay, which is like, you know, a family game with elephant miniatures that go around the board, which is absolutely great. They have what else? They have Prosperity, which I believe that for a, you know, like tech tree game looks absolutely great. Macarinus, and well, I don't think that for example Kailos looks that great for a game from there, but from this you know, design house, but it's still a really good looking game. But I like it different. But Azul, as you said, is also something really outstanding. I like when the art design is different, when it's trying to change something, trying to bring something new to the world of board games, and I really enjoy it. But I believe that it all wouldn't work if not for some, like, you know, good practice, basically. I mean, you probably have to follow some rules when making components for the game, right?
Yeah, of course. Like basically everybody is using print houses, so therefore to be able to print anything, you need to create the files in a specific way, right? I'm not talking here about cutting the pieces out, but even preparing the color scheme, the color palette you are choosing. So this usually depends on the manufacturer you're producing with.
So you get to know the manufacturer and what, like, paints and machines they're using to prepare files in a way that it will work with their system?
Yeah, so basically it's a little bit like that. Whatever you see on the screen, on the websites, they're using a different
color
colors.
system, yeah?
Yeah, so they're using the RGB, so it's more juicy, there are more choices you can play with, but then when you deliver the files...
You change the color system to CMYK.
Yeah, CMYK, because they are printing on 4 palettes, 4 different colors which overlap each other. And then...
So it's basically, just wait a second, I understand that when you go to the print house and you have this 4 colors, so the print house basically has 4 paints only, right? They have like this blue, yellow, pink and black, and that's it.
So cyan, magenta, yellow and cake.
Yeah, and then they just, every single time they print something, they have to mix them in proper proportions so that you have other colors.
Yeah, and usually text is overprinted, so therefore it's just the black, pure black on top.
And with RGB you have like thousands of colors, just pick ones, right?
Yeah, you can convert it into CMYK, but as I said, the colors will look less rich, they will be very plain and...
Alright. Okay, but when it comes to... So these are technicalities when it comes to preparing the files. But when you, for example, I don't know, think about cards in a game. Do they have any like specific rules that you have to follow when preparing cards?
Yeah, cards and anything actually what needs to be cut, because I would say cards, even though they are created from a specific thickness of paper, quality of paper, it would also apply to any tokens you are doing. It basically, they have to have a safe zone, so they have to have a bleed and margin from inside.
Bleed, which is like this safe zone that can be like the knives in the print house may move in a little bit, like 1/16 of an inch there and there, yeah? So you just, when you have a token, it's a round token, and it's like, for example, an inch in diameter, you add like 1/8 of an inch to it, just so that the knife, if it moves, it doesn't cut into the token, right?
It's not being mean to cut them not properly, but it's just the machinery. So therefore, every single manufacturer will give you a different margin of error. And of course, some of them will be perfectly printed as you imagined, but then you need to make sure that you will have the safe zone if the die cut basically will move, the knives will move tiny bit to the left or right, so they will not get outside of the image, nor they will cut it.
Alright, so the bleed is important when bringing them. Okay, but when it comes to card design, because some games have, like, for example, this white outline around the card pictures, some don't, some are like fully colored. What's the difference?
What's the difference?
I mean, why would you choose that over this? I mean, you know, it's just, I never understood that. And in some games you have that white outline, and in some you don't, or black outline.
So it all depends also on the mechanics. So there are multiple choices. Like you said, you can have one color outline, and it doesn't need to be necessarily white or black. You can make it pink or blue, whatever color you want. However, you will have this basically 2-3 millimeters inside, and therefore also when you prepare files outside. And imagine that you have a game where you actually don't want to know what you have in the deck. Then the bleed outside the card, it's actually mandatory, because if you will cut over the image, if you have a different background, you will be able to figure out, even looking on the edge of the card, that, oh, you know, actually I know what is coming next.
Okay.
And for some games it's actually mandatory from the pure mechanic point.
So if you basically have any face down decks, you should have an outline, right?
If the background is not all the same for all the cards, and there are some hidden different information, I would say yeah.
This is basically not a like art designer's choice, but this is a mechanical choice.
Yeah. Oh. It might be mechanical, but it also might be price related. And let's be honest here, it depends on the manufacturer. You can have most of the time cheaper option with bleed, therefore with the cut around homogeneous color, simply because of the manufacturing systems machinery they are using. They may have an option which is easier for them to cut with the bleed than just image itself. Okay,
didn't know that. Okay, and the board? Are there any rules like that regarding boards? As in, do you have to prepare the files somehow different, or are there like mandatory things that you have to have on the board so that it works? Like, does it have to be light or dark, or I don't know, the colors should be, you know, basically in contrast to each other, or should it be similar and blending into each other? How does it work?
So it's again, the same principle applies. You want to make sure that the game actually looks alike on the cards, on the separate pieces, and so on. So you will create the board so it's readable. And of course the biggest, you are talking here about the 4 or 6 folded boards, right? In this case, the size is actually the biggest issue, because we are talking here about the images which are very high resolution, and you have to make sure that you basically don't miss anything when you work on such files. Okay,
we in NSKN usually use a 6-folded board. Why do we choose 6-folded board over 4-folded board? Is that like just a matter of the size of the game, that the games are so mechanically, you know, big that they need a bigger board, or is it your choice, or is it the, I don't know, the graphic designer that you're working with choice, or how does it work?
Usually it's about the amount of information we need to put. So if we could put it on a 4-folded, then we would put it on the 4-folded board.
Okay.
So the idea is that we don't make this choice in the final call. It's based on the prototype early in the process of actually developing the game. So you want to make sure that the spaces are big enough, and the spaces between the actions or between the specific information are spread, so they are not very, very next to each other, so they're clear to read. Okay,
but for example, the game we're coming with to S in 2018, Teotihuacan, it will have like a completely different board, right?
Yeah.
Yes. It's like a puzzle board?
Yeah, it will have a middle board, which will be basically a one cut, and then it will have a separate, I don't know if
like corners?
It will have a separate action boards, which will be able to actually place differently each game. So therefore, they had to be separately. They cannot be on one piece. And they will create one big board all together, but they will be separate pieces.
Okay, so one more question. For example, if you have a 4-folded board or 6-folded board, why do you make them folded, not like puzzles, for example? Why don't publishers use, you know, like those huge puzzles just instead of boards?
Yeah, this is mostly because what we were discussing about the bleed, right?
Alright.
Bleed and margins. So imagine that every single cut you make, it always can be shifted, and imagine that some of the pieces would be shifted basically, and it will uncover some color, and therefore the rest, if you put them together, will just simply not fit.
Alright.
So boards from that point of view are much better. Plus, if you actually put puzzles itself a lot, you know that they kind of work themselves out. So then the pieces will not fit perfectly. Plus, you'll have this die cut, the cut between, and you have to make sure that you don't put any important information
Okay.
close to that area. Therefore, you basically limit yourself with
Alright.
the size because you have to put them together.
Okay, and when it comes to miniatures, do you have like a game with the best miniatures you've ever seen or something like that? Or the ones that you like the most?
Yeah, so I have plenty. I'm just looking now on my shelf, and my favorite of the favorite games, it's War of the Ring. So therefore, I just love this game, and I love how it looks on the table, and I love playing it. But then miniatures wise, I think all the sets from the Dungeons and Commander.
Okay.
This would be. This is just a different level of minis.
All right. So okay, but when it comes to minis, we also do have games with minis, and we also have to think about manufacturing them. When you prepare a game with minis inside, you probably work with some 3D modelers and people who like sculptures.
Yeah. So I don't do that at all. I don't do sculpting, 3D modeling at all. However, I know it's a very precise, I would say, and a very complicated process, and it requires people to really know what they are doing. And we are talking here about not only knowing how to use a software, but also how to keep the proportions, how to make things actually looking realistic in this, 2 centimeter big mini. So we work with the 3D modeler, usually attached in a way to the company we're gonna produce the minis with.
Oh, so we make sure that he knows the specification of the company and he can work himself around that. Okay.
So we don't do something which later on will be basically
unusable.
not possible to produce. Yeah.
Okay. And okay, so many people nowadays have 3D printers in their houses. Why don't you just, use the 3D printers to produce those thousands of miniatures?
Oh my god, so we can plan now, so in 2027 we maybe will be able to produce, 300 games with like 20 minis each. It's about time. Okay, if you have a whole 50,000 of printers, then you can do that, but it's the time which is actually the problem.
Okay, I get it. So if we wanted to print 1,000 copies with 100 miniatures in each, which means 100,000 miniatures, we'd probably finish it around 2,113.
Yeah, for the moment.
So if you can wait for that, then we can do that in 3D printers, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So I think it's pretty much all that I wanted to ask you about our design and preparing games for that. And now we can move to the great games we played. Alright, great games we played this week. And ladies first.
Okay. So because of the Christmas time, I recently rediscovered Dice Hate Me games because we used to buy quite many. And why do I mention it now? Because there are plenty of party games which you can play with many friends, and but they are usually not a gamers games. And why do I mention Dice Hate Me games? Because they, I think they don't produce this game anymore, but they have a game called Viva Java. And this is one of those remarkable designs which can be played with 8 people. And during Christmas and the Christmas break between Christmas and New Year, we are meeting with friends who are also gamers. So we don't want to have a party game which will last maybe half an hour. We want to have something of substance. And this game is a beautiful, simplistic, very, very beautifully designed and smart game which allowed all of us to play. And it's a simple Euro, very easy to play, very easy to teach, and it's one of my favorites. And it's basically our own copies, like traveling Poland, Romania, from friends to friends.
I think I played this game like 5 or 6 years ago, or one of its iterations, because I think there is like Viva Java something, Viva Java some other edition, Viva Java some other version. And I remember I played it like during this hard Eurogamers meeting, and we played it like with 8 people, and we loved it because it was a party game for Eurogamers. So yes, it's lovely. Well, I have to tell you about a game that is called Claim. It's a really small, tiny box that has just a two-player trick-taking game inside. It comes from White Goblin Games, and it's absolutely amazing because there are, now I think I know 3 trick-taking games that work perfectly with 2 people. It's Fox in the Forest that we played.
Yeah.
It's Triumvirate, that it's a very old out-of-print game. And now Claim. And Claim is a fantastic little game. You have a deck of cards with 5 different suits. The game is divided into 2 halves because you get your first hand, you play cards, and you're gathering this way tricks that will create your deck for the second half when you're fighting for points. Each of the suits have their different abilities. It's fast, it's witty, it's a perfect, like, you know, game that can be played in 20 minutes in a train or traveling or in between games. So if you're looking for, if you know somebody who's not much into gaming, but they like traditional card games, you know, like bridge or whatever, and you want to show them that, you know, board games are cool, get Claim, get it on the table, get them playing it, and they will love it. Yeah.
Yeah, you convinced me. So for me, I'm gonna go to the older titles just because I think they're being forgotten, and because of the Christmas and, you know, all the cleaning and getting out all the games out. So it's again yet another game from Dice Hating Games, and it's Compounded. It's one of those games I remember getting through Kickstarter, and I know that basically it was at that time one of the highest funded games.
Is it that game that you like? You're in a lab and you're creating like chemical substances?
Yeah, exactly okay. Like this. It's basically learning chemistry through fun.
I've never played it, always wanted to. You have to show it to me.
It's great, and the funny thing is that we basically hidden it somewhere on the shelf, and recently we rediscovered it. And the beautiful thing is that besides mechanics, which is really great, besides everything about the chemistry and basically you doing normal gaming, but you actually still are trying to figure out, oh, you know, I need hydrogen, I need oxygen, and you have the real names of the compounds you're creating, and then you have a lab fire and so on. But the design, the quality of the production, the art is just still valid. And I have to say that it's really, really remarkable that they were able to do it. And I don't know they knew, but they also started this new trend for the boxes. I think you remember at some point I was showing you one of the boxes I love the most.
All right.
And it's like a pure
and it's like
desk.
clean,
Yes, it's so.
I like boxes like that a lot.
Yeah.
Like in Time Stories or The Sanctuary, or well, those boxes that come with just clean, light colors and just 1 or 2 specific details out there.
Because we always call for the revolutionary in art, basically the white boxes, what for example was done by FanForge. But we have to remember all those guys who actually start making it happen and making it possible to just twist our mind a little bit that it's okay. And this box from Compounded is just so outstanding. It's just so simplistic, elegant.
So it's like board games boxes Van Gogh?
Yeah.
Great.
For me, yes.
Oh, if you don't know chemistry, I know nothing about chemistry. Would I still have fun playing Compounded?
Yeah, I profoundly dislike chemistry per se, as just because I was really poor at it. So, but basically it takes you a little bit like to this classroom when you had the periodical table and you know, all those compounds and like, oh yeah, magnesium and potassium, and it's like, oh, okay. But then basically you start playing and it's just so much fun. And it's so easy to explain. Plus you have those different color of cheats, which are basically hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, and so on. And there's this kind of idea that at the end of playing this game, you kind of figure out why the sulfur is the rarest, or why the hydrogen is actually the most common, and so on. And
so you are actually learning.
Yeah, you are. And this is.
So is it like a game that you could buy for, you know, your 12 or 13-year-old kid so that they could learn chemistry?
It's a little bit like if I, as a kid, had option to actually play it, I probably would start liking chemistry.
Alright, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, next game. It's called Majesty for the Realm. It's been an SN premiere by Hansen Blue, and it's just a Splendor killer for me. I love Splendor, but Majesty has been done by the same author, Marc-André, and the game plays fast. It just ends after 12 turns, that everybody takes just one action during a turn. So it's really fast, it's so smart, it's highly replayable because you have 8 different buildings in front of you, but they have A and B sides. So in each game you can play every card on A or B side, wherever you want, as long as everybody plays on the same size per each card. And I played it with my 6-year-old daughter and she beat me. I played it with my proper hard Eurogamers friends and I beat them. And then we played it again, only me and my wife, and it plays well with 2, 3, 4 people. It's beautiful. It's made with those chits like in Splendor you have those poker chips. Here you have a bit smaller, but they're like money, which are your VPs in the game. And well, if you're looking for a great second step family game, then Majesty would be that choice. All right.
Awesome. Yeah. So from a small surprises so far I had, it was one of those games which I mentioned it last as the 3 best, but it's nowhere in any order. The game I'm talking about is Natives, and it's a game which
it came from Cosmodrome.
Yeah.
It was a Russian publisher.
Yeah, we got our hands on it during Essen, and we played it multiple times so far. And to be honest, when I saw the box and the art, I was like, okay, let's see what's that. And then you play it, and you want to play it again, and you want to play it again, and you want to play it again. It's one of those card games, set collection, bluffing a little bit because you also, but not really.
It's a bit like Seven Wonders, but with open draft, and you're building a tableau, like an engine that's actually working. Because in Seven Wonders you're just collecting cards, and here you're building an engine out of them that will work better and better for you if you keep doing that, right?
Yeah. And it gives me this feel that it doesn't have any age limit because of the way it's designed. It's so clear. Okay, it has some text, but it's open basically from everyone, so for everyone. So it's enough that one person can read it and everybody can understand what's happening. It's one of those games that honestly I really would like to see as an NSKN game.
Yeah, and for me, half of the success of the game is the art design, because it's again minimalistic, yet matching the theme so well that it just clicks for me. Because it's all about, you know, like Native Americans, and it's we'll show it to you once for sure. And for me, the last but not least game is Clans of Caledonia. Clans of Caledonia, done by Mr. Juju, who's a devotee. The game was published on Kickstarter by Karma Games, and I was really reluctant to play it. Many people compared it to Terra Mystica, a game that I respect and hate at the same time. I'm sorry, my head doesn't work with it. I'm so poor at it. Like when I play with Andre, he doubles my score. You know, at the end of the game, I have like 102 points and he has like 250.
Yeah, you don't play with Andre this kind of games.
Yeah, I know, but I really don't like to play Terra Mystica, although I respect it. I know that it's a good game, it just doesn't work with me. Now,
I love it.
Clans of Caledonia has something to do with Terra Mystica. There is this geographical aspect to it, but the game is one of the most mature Euro games I've seen ever in my life. It's my game of 2017. Number 1, I adore it. I can't believe that a devotee made such a solid, mature, complete game, and it works so well with every number of players. It's beautiful, it's got great like those little wooden pieces for everything like whiskey barrels or cheese or bread or whatever. It's just perfect. I mean, I'm absolutely saluting Karma Games and Mr. Juju, and I hope that you guys will have a chance to play Chronicles of Caledonia, because this is the game of 2017 for me. Okay, having said that, we're gonna show you yet another fantastic game in Hidden Pearl. Hidden Pearl. This is this part of our vidcast when we try to put some spotlight on a game that many people might not know, because it just went through the gaming world without much recognition, but we believe it's absolutely great. And since we're having Agnieszka here, who's our art lady, art queen, art like emperoress.
Okay, stop it.
All right. I think I just been slapped, but that's my bad. And so the game is Parade by Zeman Games, and it's been done by Naoki Homa. And this is one of the most beautiful games I've ever played. It's a game set in Alice in Wonderland universe. When you open this beautiful box, you can see how it looks, right? When you open this small beautiful box, you are greeted with a rule book, which is like a threefold folder.
Well, let me show it to you. It's not a rule book, it's an invitation. It's an invitation to play. Look at that. It's
printed on a magnificent paper, which looks like this old letter paper, Yeah. It's the color choice is great, because it's purple, like weird, like in Alice in Wonderland thing. You have the art here, which are like these sketches. And the game itself is quite simple to learn. Inside the box you also get like tea coasters, because there will be there's always a tea party in Alice in Wonderland. Mad Hatter and everybody are having a tea party that will like take forever, because is it Mad Hatter's watch that always shows 5 o'clock? So they're always having the 5 o'clock tea, And the rest in the box, and of course there is also this plastic inlet that's really nice. And you have a deck of cards, and this deck of cards basically shows you different characters from Alice in Wonderland, and they are all absolutely beautiful. The game is simple because you're basically trying not to gather cards usually, because you will get negative points for that in the end of the game. But if you're gathering them, then you want to gather the most of the ones in a kind, because you have numbers from 1 to 10, 6 colors. And you're just trying to get as many. If you're getting yellow cards, for example, then you need to have the most of them at the table, because this way you will get negative points only for the number of cards you're having. If you don't have the most of the cards you're having at the end of the game in one color, you'll get negative points for each number on the card, which is from 0 to 10. So you get, really down. And it has witty mechanism of gathering these cards, because they are laid out in a parade in a row. And whenever you place a card, it has a specific number, like 4, for example. So if you place a 4, then you're not looking at the first 4 cards in the parade, but you have to pay attention to what's next. And you're basically gathering every card that is lower than this 4, or is in this color than the card you played. So it's witty, it's fast. It plays from, I think, 2 to 6 players, which is
special rules for 2.
Yeah. And it's really Pearl, especially, not only when it comes to game mechanisms, but also when it comes to art, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely, I would say this is like a full game. It's, everything works in this game, and games usually you focus on mechanics, but here everything works, everything is top-notch. From the smallest details, as even on the sides with the imaginary and the inlet in the box, The coasters, it's such a cute touch. Come on, you have to basically play the parade and have a cup of tea. And so basically the game itself is very simple to explain, but it's not that easy to win. And I think this is the gem in any kind of game when you play it. And it makes you, basically from game to game, you're getting better, because you start grasping what kind of tactic you would like to implement. But then it really doesn't matter, because you shuffle the cards and then you think you got it, but you have to play one more time.
Yeah, the game also makes a perfect gift, because it's beautiful, it's approachable, and did I say it's beautiful?
Yeah, like 7.
And it's Alice in Wonderland. Everybody likes Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, okay, Andre doesn't, because he's scared of it. But...
Is the hen scared of it as well?
No, Jose is not scared of anything.
Right. Okay, so we say that our hidden pearl is parade.
Yeah.
Okay, so our giveaway. We have to admit that because this is when you're watching it, it's Christmas Day. We are, with our families right now. So we are actually filming this on Friday, which means that we don't know yet all the names of all the subscribers who got to subscribe to our channel before Monday. So the winner's names or name will be just beneath the video on YouTube. So congratulations to you, the winner or the winners, and that's it. We will make more contests and giveaways in the future. That's for sure. So thank you everybody who's subscribing and following us on YouTube, and I think we want to wish you all cozy, calm, family-wise,
family and calm, and disconnected from work and
Merry
duties.
Christmas, right?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, and of course,
let's say it together.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Yes. So we really thank you for being with us, and I don't also only mean watching the movie, but being with us as a company. We've been on the market for how long now?
Since 2011, so I'd say 7 years.
8 years, yeah. And
you have to count because 2011 does count, so it's...
Yeah, so 8 years and 7 years, yeah. 7 years. Andre is better with math. Sorry, Andre's not here. He can't help me.
This was our 8th Essen, but because we just started from Essen, right? So we had to count it as it comes.
Okay, so
anyway, we wouldn't be where we are. We wouldn't be basically at all without you guys.
Without our extended family, which is the NSKN fans group, and thank you for that. And we'll see you in the new year with our podcast, with our vidcast. I want to promise to you that it would be on Monday in 2 weeks. It might be on Wednesday in 2 weeks and 2 days, because we will just need to, get in motion after the Christmas break. And so again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Kisses.